Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Pharaoh, a New Kingdom. We are on mission number 15. We're still in the Old Kingdom as well. We're still rising to glory, we're still doing all the things. Now we have two different missions in. We have Bahariya Oasis and Djedu. Now both of them involve us making a sun temple. This one, the Temple of the Sun, requires a little bit more regarding population, monument, culture, prosperity, and kingdom, but at this point, I really don't feel like it's that bad. The Sun Temple is going to be the same thing no matter what, so I think we're ready to rumble in the jungle. Let's go ahead, and we'll favor Djedu, I think, over everything else. Let's dive in. All right, everybody, welcome to Djedu. This is going to be a pretty straightforward one, I feel. We have tons and tons of land to extend on. Not so much in our first plot where the Kings or the Pharaoh's road is, but loads and loads of marshes throughout here. So we're going to be worrying, hopefully, we can worry about reeds. Awesome. Reeds and wood from what I saw. Now I don't... Aha, here are the woods. Interesting. So this is a lot of fertile ground to work with. I feel like we are going to be in a really solid spot. Should be very simple to get to 4,500 people. What we're going to do is we always do. And we're going to check things out. Services across the board are just fine. It looks like we only have grain to deal with. And while I thought I saw something about being able to put grain fields, perhaps I was wrong, but regardless, we have plenty to worry about over here, so that's not going to be an issue. But that's not the only farming that we can technically do. We also have a hunting lodge, fishing wharf, and a cattle ranch, which is going to work out perfect because our grain makes straw. Straw is needed to make cattle. So we are going to be able to produce two types of meat throughout the entirety of this mission. Just something we haven't really been able to do. Now regarding stock or storage and distribution, it's all good. We have our shipwright, of course. We have a woodcutter and a reed gatherer. So we're going to hopefully be able to export as much wood as we can. And also we can work on papyrus right off the bat. It does mean that we're going to have to import pottery, and we can do a brickworks once we get clay in, and a jeweler. Jeweler may not be worth it, we'll have to see. Religion-wise, shrine to Bast, Osiris, and Ra, with Osiris being the primary god. A temple complex to Osiris, which is not surprising at all. We have our standard military buildings as well, so we're going to have to focus on that early on. But the big thing here is our Sun Temple. And I honestly have no clue where you put this sucker, to be completely honest. Perhaps we need the stuff already in order to build it. I simply don't know. We'll have to cross that road when we get there. And then we also have the Senate House. It depends on how well we're doing. But guys, you know the drill. I'm going to start with, we could probably go with 2 whole sets of people. So that way we can get this thing jump started, get our industry rolling, get all of our things figured out. Now, before we do, real quick, it does look like we are relatively limited. But these people sell meat and clay. Clay is going to be important as to us. They buy nothing outside of wood that we can provide them, so that's a bit unfortunate. Dunkul Oasis will sell us game meat, gems, wood, granite, and sandstone. Sandstone is, I think, what we're going to need overall. So in regards to trade, I don't feel like it's going to be all that great. Game meat is good, which we can do. If we can make bricks, that would be fantastic. We're going to block off that just so I can give some peace of mind there. All right, what we're going to do first, obviously, is we need to set up a couple of granaries. And those will be enough. We are going to accept all the grain at first. And then once things progress a little more slowly, we'll work on all of the other things. Now, regarding our placements here, we need... this is actually not a good spot. Simply because there is not a lot of wiggle room. But I think we need to exploit quite literally as much as we can. So any amount will help us. As you can see, we can get quite a bit, a lot more than I actually thought we could, into here, which is going to be great for us. We can drop that there. We can, I think I can squeeze. You know what? We're not going to risk it for any biscuits. Instead, what I'll simply do is provide 3 labor camps there. And we'll do our typical thing here. Awesome. All right, well, yes, employees are certainly going to be needed, but I think they'll be okay overall. We do have quite a bit. Oh man, we got a lot that we can do and explore with, and I'm very, very excited. We are going to go into a little bit of debt. I imagine it'll happen right about here. If it doesn't, okay. Then what I can do is I can give ourselves a little bit more money. We'll make it back, so I'm not terribly concerned nor worried. Now we can totally already get a dock established. The question is where? Should we do 2 docks here and establish our authority? Yeah, I think that'll work. We can make this into an industrial sector. We do have employees needed. That is no problem at all. These can go away. And there we go. We have our docks prepared and ready. All we gotta do is this right here and this right there. Now, what I don't know is the exact ratio. I saw someone, I can't remember their name right off the bat, where essentially we could do upwards of 4 reed gatherers per papyrus maker if it's on like right next to this. So we're going to test that theory. We're a little low right now. So I think we could certainly use some help getting all of that taken care of first. There we go. Are people going to start coming in? They're still pouring in. Let's go ahead, and this time I will risk it for biscuit because I think it's worth it. We are going to go all the way down here, down to a reed manufacturer. And what we are going to do is create a little bracket here, as it were. You know what? Nope, we're going to... My OCD's killing me already. We're going to place that right there. And we're going to have... There we go. Now that is going to put me into a little bit of debt, I think. I think that's just the necessary way we have to go for now. And I can even pinch that off right there. And then we can say, you know what? We can say accept all down to a quarter. And then for here, we could definitely just accept all down to 3/4. And then what we'll do is we'll give these guys access. We're out of money. We do get a little bit more. And everything's hunky-dory. Hunky-dory-ish. We are still down quite a few people. But now that entertainment's starting to pick back up, we will be able to fulfill that pretty darn easily, I feel. Let's go ahead and get that there and that there. And then once the people start pouring in. Ah, nice. Brilliant. It's working. Very cool. And now all we need to do is we need to expand our farms, or we could simply... yeah, let's go ahead and go for hunting, shall we? I think that would be a nice addition to have. We're going to accept all. We're going to accept all. It's simply because hunting, I believe, is actually cheaper. Maybe it isn't. It is significantly cheaper. And then, of course, at some point, we'll be able to produce hide from antelopes, which I'm really excited to get into. But again, we are a little bit limited in what we can accomplish here. So I'm not going to super worry about it at the moment. And this is a little bit of a weird scenario right here, but I think it'll be all right. All right, cool. We're getting blessings all over the place, and it does look like they're keeping these guys stocked. That's incredible. That's an incredible value for what it gives us overall. We can do a ferry landing. We can land right here. I'm just going to pop these boyos. And then look, sweet. The hunters are already going out. They're going to gather as much as they can. We might hunt some things to extinction. Hopefully that's not the case. But overall, I think we'll be all right. Worst comes to worst. Eventually it will stock up, and eventually they will repopulate, I imagine. All right, cool. Well, we are already... Wow. Yeah, they're doing really good. All right, let's go to our world map. They don't buy anything. These guys buy stuff. 1,300 bucks for a route is... Yikes. That's intense. But export went over 0. Export went over 0. We are going to have to... I never remember the buttons. It's not that one. Is it that one right there? We have 50... Yeah, let's just go ahead and give it all. We're going to be here a while anyway, so it's not like it truly and honestly matters how much of the treasury we delete. What's important more than that is the fact that we are rocking the Papyrus Center. That's an incredible value. That's a 5-to-1 ratio. And that's just awesome. We probably could add another one, but I'm not going to. That will supply everything we need for the time being. So that's one industry down that we don't need to worry about. What is the next industry that we could focus on? Well, it could be wood. And honestly, I think it should be. Whoa, there we go. That gives us a very nice boost. I'll take it. It may even be worthwhile to do a second one. I mean, we have so much here that if supply is that high, that it would be worth it. We'll see. We'll see. If it's consistently down, then yeah, we'll take a look at it and we'll make sure that it gets done appropriately. As for wood, we're going to go ahead and we are going to accept all for the time being. It may not be that drastic, but much like how we established elsewhere, we are just going to build... I think I think 5 is good enough. Now the question is, how do we get to it? Because we don't have wood on this section. We have a smidgen of wood over here. That makes more sense. It is drastically closer. The real question is, where are we? There we go. Do that. And then perhaps everyone would be good there. Okay, no, the Devons is fine. I'm wondering, okay, are those the wood guys? I would assume they are. Brilliant. Kingdom standing does climb. Great. All right, we're going to slow things down for a little bit. We already have enough grain and stuff established that I think we could drop both of these down to that. Wow, we have so many options for this. This is a bit bonkers. And we're going to have a great deal of wood as well. Wood is available for import, but is it available for exporting? And I think it is. 300 bucks for that route is great. And then we're going to export when over 400, just for kicks and giggles. I think that'll be good. All right, so we basically already have everything established. We are halfway-ish to our people, which is also good. And what we need to start working on is building this thing. So the Sun Temple, I do think we are going to have 220 stone. That is absolutely ridiculous, and hopefully I don't have to take out this entire region and I can simply build it elsewhere. Otherwise, we're going to be in a little bit of heat. I don't know why it would require me to only build in those two areas. Fingers crossed. But what I think we can do is we are essentially going to need several storage yards dedicated only to our sandstone. There we go. There we go. Blessing from Osiris. Awesome. So the real question is, can we import sandstone? We can import sandstone. Import to maintain, we'll say 250 blocks. Now, overall, that is going to be very expensive, and I think we will lose a decent bit of money on it. But the part that I'm concerned with, there we go, is wood. Awesome. Well, wood's going to happen, which is just fantastic. And it looks like they might be going after that. I think we'll be okay overall. I'm not too concerned. We do have 150 people. Now what we need to work on is the next industry, which is going to be pottery. Now, pottery can... Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm a dingleberry. We are going to trade in wood. And these guys are actually going to trade in clay. And then we can lay down our first establishment here. Accept all at half. Accept all at half. Lay down some potters. I can't imagine we need any more than 4. And just get some extra space there. Clay, we're going to import to maintain 1600. And then we'll be good on that front. And that will allow us to bring in the clay that's needed. And we can trade in clay there. We're going to trade in wood there. Everything will be great. We might lose a little bit of money, but it's all good. Once we get people rolling in with that stuff, I think everything will be pretty darn hunky-dory. We are going to specialize in pushing people over there to get as much wood as possible, though. And just to make sure, we're exporting one over 400. Great. There is our pottery. And then there is our wood. We're making money back. Fantastic. Then once we get our pottery, like I said, they're going to start leveling up and everything will be fantastic-aroo. The real question, I guess, on another form of food, we can import that. I assume nowhere else needs it. So outside of the clay, we could make brickworks, but I'm not going to worry about that. We're doing all right, though. We're at full capacity for our grain. Nothing else is terribly needed right now outside of perhaps beer, but we can get that rolling with another thing here. Actually, let's do accept all to half, and then I'm going to accept all to half there because we can't do anything. Currently only exportable. Are you serious? They sell clay, reeds, and limestone. This is the only other people. Game meat, grain, sandstone. So I would imagine we can't even import... Okay, we can import copper. Let's take a look at where. Because I didn't see where I could import copper. We can't. Okay, so this is one of those deals where it's saying we can, and we cannot. We're going to have to get a recruiter going. We're going to have to get a recruiter going, and we're going to have to do an academy. Simply to address this, because if you remember last episode, it really bit us in the butt in the end. So I am going to have to focus on that. We're just going to have to make archers until someone says otherwise. We have the capacity to do it. So I'm not worried about that. We can easily build a few things over here and get all of that running. Why is everyone not happy here? That is very, very curious to me. Just do that and maybe it'll be fine. Oh, I think I know what happened. There is no blockage between these two sections. And because of that, he kind of ran off. Pottery accepts up to half. We need more entertainment. I always forget about the conservatory. I have no idea why. No idea whatsoever. There we go. That's what we need. Brilliant. We don't have any fish. I don't see any reason to have any fish. I didn't think that would be something we'd need to worry about, but apparently it is. So what we're going to do is simply drop a thing in here. We're going to accept all the fish. We are going to make fishing wharves all along this section. And again, we do need a shipwright, but we can get that shipwright right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice. Everything's going well. We're bringing in lots of people. And as soon as we're able to do other things, like, you know, import beer, we'll be good. And are we building people? We are building people, which is great. Nice. That is going well. I think it'll be enough to hopefully hold off anything nefarious. Weaponsmith produces spears out of copper, but that's all it does, so that's not terribly useful to us. I'm sorry, I just don't have the fish available. Once we get more people in that area, we'll be okay. All right, we're making enough money where I feel comfortable enough to upgrade all of these to plazas in case that is an issue, which it does appear to be the case for these guys.
What's a priestess to do?
There's so little diversion, my butt. You're happy and joyful and all the things of that nature. We are slowly importing all of the... Oh my word, we are going to be wrecked by Pharaoh. What we have to do is we have to hoard fish. That's what's going on. I was wondering why there was no fish to be had. We have to stockpile it, or else the dingleberries will eat it. Alright, cool. Well, that sucks. Our kingdom standing will fall for a little bit. It shouldn't be terribly bad, but it is going to fall nonetheless. And we export... Nope, we don't need to export any sort of grain at all. And yeah, we're kind of stuck here. We are kind of stuck here. Don't really know what to do next, to be honest. We just gotta wait and wait and wait for our sandstone. We only have 75 blocks of sandstone. So guys, with nothing really to do, I'm going to take a little break. And you guys will see me when something else. Here we go. Oh no, we've lost access to one of our places. Well, son of a biscuit. I didn't realize the trade was that important to everything that was going on. We lost the trade route. We should be able to get something back eventually. The game wouldn't mess us over that bad. But regardless, guys, like I said, we'll be back once there's something more interesting to report on, because right now we're just going to kind of twiddle our thumbs. Welcome back, everybody. We have some new updates on the line. We have expanded a little bit. I chose to go this route because, well, we needed the people, and now we have more than enough. But we have, oh yes, we just got the beer in. Fantastic. As you can see, operations have expanded. We've started to make a cattle ranch, which is going to feeding our granaries, because what I'm noticing is that game meat and fish are starting to become an essential part of the supplies that the emperor, that the pharaoh, excuse me, is requiring of us. So I thought it'd be smart to go ahead and capitalize on that. The other thing we're going to capitalize on is a little bit of extra grain, because we have a whole bunch. And essentially what's happening with this episode and with this scenario is that as long as I fulfill everything from other people, from other settlements needing help, we will have a whole lot of trade partners, which I think is perfect. Now, we aren't able to export grain yet, which is a bit unfortunate, but what I'm doing is I am making all of the straw I can to help feed my cattle and do everything. That, as you can see, price increases are happening all over the place. And in fact, what we're going to do here, we're going to accept none, and I am going to accept all at half. That way we can have a dedicated space. And there we go. People are going to start pouring in even more than they did before. And I think we're at the point now where we can also start working on some dance schools, because that's kind of the last piece of the entertainment puzzle, outside of perhaps Senate houses. But we're not in the point where we can build some Senate houses anyways. There we go. I think that will work. We also have a couple of warships. We do have our 3 groups of archers. And we're going to do that. I could make some infantrymen, but I think at this point we're just going to be okay with where we're sitting at with archers, because again, nothing's really coming at us. The things that will come at us will either be able to be repelled by our warships or anything else that might happen. Now, an interesting thing here is that they are not filling up this stuff. And maybe it could be that, and I mean, they'll pick things off from here, which isn't a problem. But yeah, we're going to keep storing up all the things here with fish and with game meat, because that is the things, those are the things rather, that are going to be most crucial for us. And now again, we're sitting waiting here. I don't know if we're importing a whole lot. I'm accepting a whole lot. It's possible that trade is reliant. It's a water route now, perhaps. Which isn't a problem if that is the case. I just simply would like to know so I can prepare for myself. And I do believe we are at the point where another papyrus maker may be in order, just to keep things running a little more smoothly. Keep traffic coming in. That's what we want the most. For traffic to stay steady and to stay profitable. Now, as you see here, we are missing out on a great deal. Straw, we're not even having it as exportable yet because we simply need all of it. Yep, that's all good. I think we're good there. But yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys updated and informed, because I do think that is, I think that's crucial to you guys enjoying the series, is staying informed of the things that you can see and not having to worry about the things that you can't. We're going to go ahead and build a scribal library as well. I think I can squeeze that in right there. Perfect. Now that's going to bring everyone up to a pretty good style of living. Now what we're going to need next is linen. And I don't know that I'm ready to supply linen just yet. There we go. Look at all of that grain that we're not having to worry about. Let's go ahead and get up to that much. That way we can pull from the granaries. I was not tardy in fulfilling that. That was the first time I've heard of it. Very strange. I think we'll be okay no matter what. House cannot evolve. No, oh, there we go. We're evolving now. And even these boyos are too. They need a second type of food. Well, they could get it. They just tried a little bit. But perhaps, can I say, get a quarter? Will they take it from there? They will. So I think that's a pretty profitable solution there. And then here we can say get up to 1/4 as well. That's not a whole lot. We're not asking them to break the bank, but that keeps things flowing. Make sure no meat's rotted, anything of that nature, because that would be pretty darn gross, I'm not going to lie. But these guys, they need a second type of food to encourage wealthier people to move in. I don't think we have to be concerned about it. We are at 3,500 people. And, yeah, we may have to end up destroying that. But my biggest concern is the fact that sandstone has not been coming in, and I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from, but it just has not been traded. So it is a bit of a concern if the trade goes away. And it's also possible that between everyone that I trade with, that my sandstone partner is simply just not there anymore. Okay, well, apparently Dunkul Oasis is one of the places. I think that's actually where I'm getting it from, and I can't do anything about it. So it's a bit unfortunate. But once again, guys, I think we're at the point where we can go back to the drawing board and we kind of just hang out, Or at least I can hang out and you guys can wait for the next big important thing to happen to this series. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Finally have enough to build our glorious, glorious sun temple. Now I just gotta face it just right. There we go. All right, now we have an overabundance of people, so I'm gonna go just a little haywire, just a little bit, simply because, well, I can, and I think it would speed things up by a whole heckin' lot. Now we can do several things here. We can have a couple of carpenters. I don't know if that would be necessary, but we can totally have a bunch of stone guilds. Because again, I have zero clue what we're going to need or what we're not going to need. So we might as well overkill it, because we do have the workload and the space to go into employees needed, because I did build another area here. And of course, as soon as there's an opportunity, we're going to have people funnel in. And they're going to hit that entertainment. They're going to go straight up to the top. As much as they can anyways. See, look at that. We've already got all the way straight to the beginning. All the way as they can without linen and things of that nature. So we'll be good. Awesome. They're already 120 or 21% done. We're hitting our meters at every mark. We need a little more culture. We have too few places of worship. So we do need to build. Let's go ahead and invest in, we'll call this, yeah, we'll call this Shrine Way. Just an avenue of shrines. Now, I don't know if that's what it's going to take, and if it doesn't, then that's fine. I'm not going to be upset, but we could go ahead and do several more places of worship if we wanted to. We have a kind of a temple district over here, but we could certainly lay things out to where, you know, oh, you want to come worship the gods? That's not a problem. Go ahead and come down this temple row, and I think things will be very well for you. We're going to build, you know, a couple of temples to Osiris, one more temple to Bast. You want to pray at a certain temple because you like the way a priest does things? That's not a problem. We can accommodate that for you. No problem whatsoever. And ensure that you are protected well and above what's needed. There's too few musicians. Oh, there we go, a Senate house. Oh, yeah, we have, yeah, let's do that. I haven't actually built a Senate house yet. Honestly, I haven't had a need for it. Where is the Senate house? It's right there. Oh, this takes up a ton of space. We're gonna hide this back here. There we go. And then, of course, it should be able to receive access once it gets some beer in it. Awesome, look at that. Look at that, they're having some fun, knocking a few back. Can't blame them whatsoever. It's been a long, hard journey doing this. 171 blocks of sandstone are still needed. We have 44, so we still need quite a few in order to do anything here. We have more than an abundance of workers. What I'm wondering is why we're not listing, you know what, let's do, can we do this? Will it limit who I have come into here? Because, to be quite frank, I don't need workers from here, if that's what it's doing. Or even workers from here. There we go. If we can get workers to come in from here and do all the things, that would be perfect. There we are. Look at this. This is great. This looks just fantastic. And we need tons more sandstone, so I'm just going to keep importing it. Because that's all that's really needed. I don't really need to worry about anything else. But my, is it looking fantastic. So you know the drill. We've hit all of our markers. More libraries, okay. We do need a higher kingdom rating, which is... Oof. We can go into our political overseer, which is right here. There's no outstanding things, so that's okay. Yeah, we may have to end up sending a few gifts once everything is said and done. Do we have people bringing stuff? I would imagine that we do. The real question is, do they bring it and are able to cross over that line, or do we have to have this established? We probably have to have that established. But guys, you know the drill. We'll be okay. I'm not too terribly concerned about anything over here. If we wanted to, we could even just have this guy go get all. So we were a little bit closer, but guys, we'll be right back. As you can see, this timeline going on. Occasionally, I'll take a look here and see what we need to do. But outside of that, I think we're all right. Contaminated water is very unfortunate. We'll be okay overall. It's not really a concern that I have. One single bit. Oh, there we go. Look how gorgeous that looks. Oh man, I'm so excited. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Sun Temple is finished and it looks fantastic. Game meat. Oh, we've had a rough time with our game meat overall. It's been very difficult to gather enough to do anything with, and then it's been difficult to keep it. Now, the kicker in all of this is that, well, the Sun Temple's done, but our raiding with Pharaoh is quite literally atrocious. So what we're going to work on is we're going to work on not saving up, but simply finding ways to increase the Pharaoh's favor. Now, we could simply pay, and I'm more than willing to pay if we need to. But I think if we're able to just establish the fact that I am competent in all these areas, then that would be preferable. So we're going to boost up our hunters' capabilities. And we are going to basically create as much as we can and keep those things rolling. Now we are stockpiling, so it does mean that no one will be able to eat or consume, which is fine by me. I think that's probably the best solution of them all. We're actually going to, we're not going to throw away. We are going to empty all of the things. They are not allowed to have anything, just so we can get things rolling a little bit better, because goodness gracious. All right, so we're gonna have to start limiting our ability to export. Okay, we're gonna export when over 1,000. Well, actually, we could do 800 now, but I am going to stockpile that resource as well. We need to be able to convince, again, Pharaoh, that we have the capabilities of doing this, because right now, I feel like he feels that we are incompetent, and that's the last thing that I want him to feel. Of course, this is just a game, so it's possible that none of that is true whatsoever. But I do think there's been something a little wonky with the meat production in these things, because, well, they're just not doing anything. They don't seem to be doing anything at all, because there we go. We're still not going to meet either one of those. Well, we might meet both of those deadlines. There's, oh, look at that. Both of them, that's going to help. Now, hopefully, Pharaoh isn't like, all right, there's been a little bit of a bug, I feel, that he's considered everything tardy, which it's not been tardy in the least, especially some of those things. Kingdom standing climbs, awesome. Now, we don't need this. We don't need those guys, and we certainly don't need this entire district. That's fine. We're not gonna take anything back. It's not necessary. And in fact, I am going to just boop, kind of release all of those guys. That's fine. We just don't need it anymore. And we don't need all those people. We need to be able to reduce that setting. Now, we do have everything else hit. It's just satiating the Pharaoh that we need to do that. Now, we could send a gift. We could send some Persian carpets. That doesn't raise it by a whole lot at all. Oh my word. Are we going to just be stuck in an endless cycle of trying to appease Pharaoh with all these things? I'm afraid that's a distinct possibility. What we're going to do is we're just going to overkill. We're going to kick things into overdrive, and we are going to have ourselves a good time, because I need to make all sorts of more things across the board, and we're going to fill up all these spaces with all of those things. Brilliant. I think this will work. We'll be able to bring in that stuff. I'll be right back. And now, randomly out of the blue, I just win. That was definitely bugged. What essentially happened was that every time game meat was used, no matter how quickly I fulfilled it, It said it didn't work, that I was late, and the kingdom rating was going down. Well, I think the bug kind of fixed itself. I don't know. But regardless, guys, we are done with this mission. I appreciate you. This wasn't nearly as bad, although I feel like if it wasn't for the bug, we could have been done 20 to 30 minutes before the raw edit of this video. So I'm a little okay. Someone did mention earlier in the last video that last mission was the longest mission in the game. If that is the case, then I think I will keep up with this. This is much more doable. Instead of wasting 2 hours of my time, an hour and 20 minutes is okay when I can cut it down. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you will enjoy this journey as we continue. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next episode.